Well, hello, mamas. We are here to talk about reason number 2 your teens need an off screen hobby. Our focus today is on school, and the short answer as to why your teens need an off screen hobby is pretty simple. School is better. All right. When I say better, it's more fun and it's just more enjoyable and just overall better for your teens. So let me know. What do you think? Do you agree with that statement? Yes or no? Off screen hobbies make school better for your teen. Let me know what you think below. And I'm curious to see if you say no, if your answer changes at the end of the video. Now, before I dive into this concept, I want to let you know, yes, we're on Facebook. Yes, we're on YouTube streaming live. But I also have an awesome Facebook group called Teaching Teens Love Learning. I'd love to have you join us after the video in the group. All right. So you've made your selection, yes or no. Now let me tell you why it's a definite yes for me, why hobbies off the screen make school better for your teen. Number one is that hobby of your teens can connect to something being taught in school. So maybe your teen is not at all interested in math, and all of a sudden your teen realizes, oh, this thing, this formula, this concept, this whatever, it applies to my skateboard. It applies to my swimming. It applies to my art. I mean, there are so many connections between different things that our teens don't realize until they do. But if your teen has no interest outside of video gaming, your teen has no interest at all, just is bored all the time, well, again, how is your teen going to make those connections? And yes, I will 100% admit there are some things on the screen that connect with stuff that happens in school and material. But the idea here is we want your teens off the screens as much as possible because they spend way too much time on the screen at school, like we talked about in yesterday's video. But we also want your teens to realize, okay, now that I understand this thing in science we talked about, it makes me better at this hobby, or it's going to make it easier for me to do this other thing that I just learned about, or I already like. Okay, so that's the number one reason why hobbies off the screen are so important to your teen enjoying school, because if we see a connection between this thing I like, and then your teen sees this connection between this thing I'm being taught, wow, okay, suddenly I care more about this thing that the teacher's telling me and that I'm supposed to be learning because it connects to something I actually care about. And we talked all about relevance a week or so ago in a different series. So definitely do know relevance is a big part to your team having some buy-in, liking school, wanting to do the homework, actually learning the thing. Okay. Now another has no hobbies whatsoever. Well, unfortunately, when your teacher says, write whatever you want to write, or find a book that matches your interests, well, unfortunately, your teen who has no hobbies has nothing to draw from. Okay, your teen needs hobbies in order to have some ideas of where to start when getting to choose a project, a paper, whatever. Okay, so those are 2 of the 3 reasons why it's so important for your teen to have an off-screen hobby. Before I share number 3, and welcome everybody that's watching, in case you're just now joining us, I'm Jessica Coulter, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring and Study with Jessie. I help teens love to learn by teaching them how to learn through study skills. And yes, this happens on the screen, off the screen, but your teens can love to learn once they know how to learn, even if there's no screens involved. Okay, so I want you to hit that subscribe button and that follow button on the Ace Cookie Tutoring Facebook business page and Ace Cookie Tutoring YouTube channel, because we are covering 3 other reasons why it's so important for your teen to have a hobby throughout this week. All right, ready for the 3rd reason why school's better when your teen has a hobby? All right, drum roll here. If I had a drum, maybe I'd roll it, but do know it comes down to those interests. It comes down to friends. It comes down to extracurriculars. Okay, if your teen has a hobby, well, that makes it really easy to find friends and to make friends. Okay, if your teen is talking to someone about, this book, about this art, about this sport, about this concert, about this thing your teen makes, well, guess what? If a classmate says, oh, yeah, I love that too, boom, good chance your teen just made a new friend or has a good chance of making a new friend. Okay, and if you've got a kiddo in school, or even, outside of school, there's all sorts of clubs, there's all sorts of activities, there's all sorts of extracurriculars. And again, your teen's going to get some more social interactions in if he has a hobby. If he's not just sitting in his room on his screen all day watching videos, playing games. Because, yes, there's online communities for different gamers and things, but there's a much easier way and much more authentic way to make friends and make those connections face to face than through a screen. Okay, let alone the idea of, okay, all of those mental health benefits, let alone kind of the eye strain, all of those things that goes into screen. Again, talked about that a little bit yesterday, but definitely we want your teens off the screen so they can actually make some friends and actually go somewhere and enjoy time with a friend doing that thing that they both like to do. Or maybe the friend comes to your teen's house, your house, and they're able to spend time doing whatever that thing is together. Okay? So, with that being said, those are the 3 reasons why it's so important for your teen to be off the screen and to enjoy school better when off the screen. Number 1 was this idea of friends. I guess I'm going backwards here. So let's start at the top. So let's start with number 1 would be your teen connecting to something the teacher's teaching. Number 2 is if your teen's teacher says, hey, write the paper about whatever, your teen has a starting point. Your teen can actually write based on something he already likes instead of going, I don't know what I like. I don't know what I want to do. Well, your teen has a hobby. He has a place to start. He has an immediate answer of what he can do, what he might be inspired by to write about. And number 3 is making friends through in-person extracurriculars, clubs, activities, whatever. Okay, so if your answer has changed, I want to know about it down below. If you're still a no, that school is not better if your teen has an off-screen hobby, well, I definitely would love to talk and find out more. And if you want your teen to love learning, because hobbies directly connected to school, like we talked about today and yesterday, also, do you know hobbies are definitely connected to study skills. So if you want your teen to love learning by knowing how to learn, and you're interested to know, okay, how does a hobby really play into this whole idea of school and learning and study skills, join my Facebook group. The link's in the description. All you gotta do is click it, answer a couple questions, and you'll be in. So thank you so much. Hope to see you in the group soon so I can help your teen love to learn on the screen, off the screen, through study skills. See you tomorrow, everybody.